Easter Sunday and the end of Easter Sunday. You know, for those of us who are pastors, we love Easter Sunday. It is such a great celebration, a great time for us to get together and really just celebrate with the whole church family. So we love it. It's a great day. But it's also fun to have Easter Sunday come to an end because it's been a lot of hard work. And I'll tell you what, I watched so many people here at this church just do so many things to allow us to celebrate this Easter Sunday. And it was great to have it, and it's great to be on the other side of it. But you know, here's the thing that's so interesting about Easter, because we all gear up for Easter and we're ready to celebrate Easter, and we're doing Easter all big and all this celebration, but then we get to the end of it and we think, oh, we're done. And in reality, that's when the fun begins. I mean, really, it's in response to Easter that the people that had followed Jesus really take on this ministry of the church, and that's where everything starts. But it starts with this idea that Jesus has come and has announced himself as king and has now taken his throne. And yes, it's true that for those first followers, they thought it was going to be different. They thought the throne was going to be an actual throne, and the throne turned out to be a cross and then an empty tomb. But it was throne nonetheless, because Jesus said time and time again, the kingdom of God is here. The kingdom of God is at hand. Now is the kingdom of God. Jesus' message was always about kingdom and the fulfillment of God's promise. And it happened on Easter Sunday. And it began the ministry of this new kingdom of God. So here's the thing. If the kingdom of God is here, and the kingdom of God is upon us, and it's supposed to be this new day, has anything changed? I mean, has anything changed from the day before to today? Yeah, maybe our celebration, our words, our joy today feels strong and wonderful, but has anything really changed? And I think there's a lot of people that ask that question after Easter or around this time. And you know, the truth is that if you look out the window, it may not look like much has changed. If you turn on the news, read the newspaper, check the news feeds on your phone, it may look like not much has changed. But the promise that God gives us is that the kingdom of God is upon us. And it is beginning that slow movement of change. Remember the way Jesus spoke about the kingdom? He had all kinds of parables that spoke about the kingdom, but one came to mind in particular this week. He said, the kingdom of heaven, and this is, by the way, Matthew chapter 13, beginning at verse 31. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in a field. Though it's the smallest of all seeds, yet it grows, and it is the largest of the garden plants, and becomes a tree, so that the birds can come and perch in its branches. And then he tells them another parable. He says, the kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked through the dough. You know, Jesus chooses to talk about the kingdom as a small seed or a small piece of yeast that's put into bread. And both the seed and the yeast change the thing around them. The seed grows and becomes a plant. The yeast helps that dough become a full loaf. And you know what? It starts with something very small. Why would you choose an image such as the kingdom of God being something so small? It's because that's how it works. That's how the kingdom of God works within us. It starts small and begins to grow. And perhaps if you really truly look and listen, you will see how the kingdom of God has come to affect us as individuals and the world around us. And really our hope and prayer is that what started at Easter is going to continue to go. And perhaps soon, or at least eventually, that kingdom is going to grow into its full measure. You see, that's our hope and our prayer. And so this invitation of Easter is, yes, to celebrate that day, but then to experience the growth and the change and the new life that this promise brings. So enjoy these days after Easter. It didn't end, it just began as a small seed, growing and growing until it reaches its full maturity. Enjoy Easter and the days after.